Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. So today I'm steering away from building anything StrangerVille. I was about to say Stranger Things, StrangerVille related, and I feel at the minute that there's so many YouTube videos on StrangerVille, and I just wanted to get some fresh content out. I mean, I love all of the renovations that I've been watching and all the really cool ideas, but I just wanted to build something not related to StrangerVille, so I went the completely opposite way and built something which is like a farmer's kind of retreat house. It's basically like a little cottage. It's built in it's built in Brindleton Bay. I was about to say Windenburg, but I originally actually placed this lot down in Windenburg, and then I didn't like the way it looked, and so I came to Brindleton Bay and then just decided to rebuild it in Windenburg. I only did the structure, so that's how I kind of did the structure so quickly. So if you wondered, it did actually take me a while in Windenburg, but then I came onto Brindleton Bay. I just thought it'd be cleaner if I just did it like I redid it. I didn't get too far though in Windenburg. I basically got to the same point which I'm at. But yeah, so today I'm building this little cottage, and originally I was gonna go with like the Brindleton Bay style with the kind of curved roof, but I didn't really like it, and I do love them kind of roofs, and I absolutely love that style, but I just felt like it didn't really suit this house as much as I wanted it to look, because I kind of envisioned it in my head, and it just wasn't going the way I planned, and so I just went with like this normal like triangular type of roof, if you know what I mean. But yeah, also I want to say I'm really sorry if you can hear wind or like just a lot of noise in the background. It's currently really windy in England at the minute. I don't know what's going on. It's literally so windy, and my window, it like makes noises. Like I have like an air vent which I can't close, and it kind of taps. So if you hear that throughout the video, I'm actually really sorry. I can't do anything about it. I have actually tried like sellotaping it in the past and stuff, but it just doesn't really make a massive difference. So there's nothing I can really do about that, so I am sorry. But yeah, getting back to the build, as you can see, the structure of the build has kind of come together now, and I'm kind of just going around and doing the wallpapering, and I added them flower baskets, I think they're called, from Get Famous. I absolutely love them I'm just going to call them flower decorations, because I don't know if they're flower pots or I think they're not planters. I'm not sure what they're called, but the things that go on the edge of the window, them things, I absolutely love them. I think they're so adorable and just perfect, and they come in some really, really nice swatches, and I wanted to use them in this build. But you can kind of see I've done all the wallpapering now, and I decided to go for like an English kind of cottage vibe. And I actually got the inspiration to do a cottage from a YouTube video that I watched yesterday. So I can't remember what channel it was or whatever, but I was watching a woman, and her and her boyfriend, or her and her fiance, I don't know what their actual relationship status is, but they recently bought a little Cornish cottage and they were renovating it. So they bought it and it needed a lot of work, and just from watching that, it really inspired me. They haven't really started the renovation yet, but just the idea of like a little English cottage, I decided to build this. I absolutely love building cottages in The Sims. It's one of my favourite things to do. I absolutely love it, but I try not to do it as often because I always like to have new content on my channel and not always recycle the same idea. I mean, I know that I've done a lot of trailer builds, and I'm going to try and stop doing that, but it's really annoying because I went through a period of where I did like a van conversion and then a few trailer builds, and then StrangerVille came out, and then there's like an opportunity for a perfect little trailer home, and I really want to do one, but there's so many videos in it now, and I've done quite a lot of videos recently on trailers, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be doing one. I'll obviously do one at some point, but I just don't know if it'll be now or in the future. It's going to be at one point, but I just don't know when it's going to be, basically. But yeah, so I got inspired from a girl on YouTube, and I just went straight into my game. I watched her video and I was like, right, that's what I'm building for today's video. And last night I built this, and I spent about 3 hours building this. I think it was 3.5 hours in the end, I'm not completely sure, but it took me a very long time, and I don't know why it took me so long. It's just one of the things that I have put so much like I just went all in, and even like the smallest little decorations, I put them in, and I did something in this house which I've never seen anyone do before, and there's probably a load of videos on it before, but I've just never seen anyone do it. But you'll see that when we get to the interior part. I don't really want to ruin it, but it was a really, really cool idea, and I actually got inspired from the idea from this YouTube video what I watched, and it's just a proper nice little English cottage set in Brindleton Bay. I don't actually know where Brindleton Bay was set off, because a lot of the worlds that we have were kind of like based off real life like areas and kind of countries. I don't know where Brindleton Bay was like based off, maybe England, but I'm not completely sure, because England doesn't have that much what's it called? Like, oh my god, the wind is so bad. I'm so sorry if you can hear that in the background. I really can't do anything about it. Yeah, England doesn't have as much like sea as Brindleton Bay does. I mean, there probably is parts of England that do, like I know by like down in like Brighton kind of area and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know, I kind of get English vibes from Brindleton Bay, but it is my favourite world and I absolutely love it, and I love building in Brindleton Bay. I don't think I've done a video in Brindleton Bay yet on my channel, which is quite surprising because it's actually the world that I play in my personal gameplay the most. Just absolutely love Brindleton Bay, and it's just one of them worlds which I always tend to go for, and I always tend to go and like build in or just play in, and I just absolutely love Brindleton Bay. This is built on it's not the Dashhounds Creek, Dashhounds Creek is what I think it's called, but that's the next door neighbour lot to this lot. I'm not sure what it's called. I can't actually see what it says in the top left corner because it's way too small on my monitor at the minute. But you can obviously look at it now and you'll be able to see what lot it was built on. But it's one of the little hidden away lots, and this lot is actually built right next to the fishing pond, which I thought was the perfect location for this, because I imagined that the family that live here, the mum and the dad, so this is basically what I imagined. So the mum is really into cooking and just like a proper little like mum, if that makes any sense. You know, she just loves cooking, she loves gardening, she's a proper like mum. I mean, you don't have to, that's just it's not like, oh, you have to do this to be a mum. That's just like a proper like old-fashioned kind of mum, I should say. So I'm going to go with old-fashioned kind of mum is what I was going for. And their dad just loves like woodwork and fishing and taking the dog out for a walk and all that kind of stuff. And so that's what I envisioned when I was building this. And there's actually a pond just around the corner to this lot, and it's one of the little hidden away ponds in Brindleton Bay, and I actually haven't had my Sims go there to fish just because I've never actually built anything on this lot, and I never like travel up to this lot to like go fishing because there's a massive like sea at like the beach. So I just thought that this was the perfect little lot to build this house on, because it's basically like a little private pond. Even though it's not on this land, it's kind of their pond, not really. I mean, other residents can go and fish there and stuff, but I just thought it was perfect. There wasn't actually enough garden space to add a pond, so it just worked out perfectly. But yeah, so you can kind of see that I'm doing the garden now, and oh my god, this terrain paint, I cut out a lot of it. I spent in real time about 45 minutes doing the terrain paint. I did some terrain manipulation on this lot, which I've tried to start doing a little bit more with my builds. But the thing is, terrain paint and terrain manipulation are just two things that do not go well in my books, because when you're trying to do like a nice little perfectly curved path and all that kind of stuff, the terrain like dips down and on the hills, and it's just not the one. So I had a massive struggle with it. I did cut it out though, because I did not want to make you watch through all of it, so I just kept the bit in where I basically did it like a normal path, not like a curvy path, and I thought that would be just the nicest looking way. I could do it with the curves, but it just didn't look clean enough. It kind of looked ragged at the edges and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I decided to go for like the more straighter edge kind of path, and I think it works perfectly. But yeah, so now I'm just doing the garden, and I added some little planter boxes. I didn't add any flowers in there because I imagined that if you downloaded this, you'd want to go straight into game and add your own little flowers because of like the backstory. Well, you don't have to follow my backstory for this house, but if you had a backstory similar and you wanted the mum to be really into gardening and all that kind of stuff, then you'd want the planters. You'd want them free and not have like loads of plants in them. Of course you can delete them, but I just thought it'd be nicer if I just left them nice and clean for you. And I did actually add washing into this lot, so I added a laundry line, and I just did it right by like the back door. So there's actually 2 back doors in this house, and so in total there's 3 doors. The front door, one of the back doors which leads from the kitchen, that is on the brick part of the house, that is actually the kitchen if you go through that door. And then there's another door which leads from like the sunroom / dining room. So there's a lot of access points to the garden basically from this house, which I really like. But now I'm just going in and just finishing up the front garden, and I added this little porch which I just thought was the most adorable thing ever. I actually have one of these porches at my mum and dad's house. The house that my mum and dad live in is actually a really old English house, and we have a porch like this, and I just thought it was like a perfect little thing for an English cottage. And it's just got like a nice little wooden chair, so your Sims can sit there and like read a book or something like that. But now, as you can see, I'm now moving on into the interior, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, what the hell are you doing? So basically I had an idea to do these wooden beams, and I don't know what they're called. They're the things that can go in between columns, and you regularly find them outside of houses. And I just thought English cottage old beams, it's one of them things that you find anyway, and I just thought it was the perfect thing for this little house. And this is a thing that I've never done before, and I've never actually seen anyone do before. There probably is a load of videos doing it, but I've just never seen it, and I thought it was a really cool idea. So I'm really happy with this, and the screenshots look so beautiful with this wooden beam, and the house is fully functional. I went in and play tested it. I don't regularly play test my house because I normally place objects in a way which it's not like awkward to get to and all that. I'm pretty good with that. But with this, I felt like I needed to play test it just in case the wooden beams like restricted you or anything, but they don't. It's absolutely fine. It's a very functional house, and it looks so beautiful, and I'm definitely going to be doing this in my future cottage videos. I was so happy with my idea, and it's just one of them things I absolutely love, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing this in the future. But now you can see I'm just doing the kitchen, and the kitchen so there's a back door which goes into the garden like I mentioned, and I just thought it was the perfect room to put the kitchen, because this house does have objects for pets. So I imagined a dog and a cat also live here, and so I imagined the dog goes out for a walk and he gets really smelly and just not very nice, and you could walk him through into the kitchen and then straight into the bathroom, which will be next door to the kitchen. I haven't done it yet, but it's just kind of like not like a wet room, but kind of like a wet room because it's got tiles, and I just thought it was a perfect little room to put the kitchen. And I just love that back door, how it leads round into the garden and past the fountain and all that kind of stuff. I just absolutely love this house. I'm so happy with it, and I can't actually wait to play in it. I have actually already created a family to live in here, but I haven't actually played with them yet, but I will be playing with them later on this evening, I can assure you that. I'm just so excited to do like the kind of farmer style kind of life, and I just think this house is so perfect, especially for bringing up a family. This house does have 2/3 bedrooms. The third bedroom I actually made into like a laundry room / office / just skill room, but I think if you wanted you could just add it into another bedroom. I was originally going to put a toddler bedroom in that place, but I decided just to make it like a little laundry room, just because I maybe they don't have a toddler yet, but maybe if you do have a toddler, then you can move him straight into that room and just decorate it to be a toddler's room or something like that. I don't know, but we'll get to that later on in the video. But you can kind of see I'm just cluttering up the kitchen now, and I did something which I never normally do, and that was I put a load of clutter objects for the kitchen in, and then I went around and placed them. I never do that. I don't know what made me do it today, but I did. I don't know what made me do it, but I actually missed quite a lot of objects whilst doing that, so I did actually go back in and just like re-put a load of them in, just so I had everything that I kind of wanted, and I just made it a very nice cluttered family kitchen that looks very lived in. I didn't want to put too much clutter in, but I kind of did at the end. I kind of went a little bit overboard with that. But now I'm just moving on and going into the dining room. So this room does actually have a separate roof. You can make it into a glass roof, but I decided just to have like a normal roof. If you would like this to be like a sunroom / conservatory or something like that, you can literally just go into your game and then just add the roof, like the glass roof one, because it's not connected to the other roofs. It won't like mess it up or anything. But for the purpose of this, I decided to keep it like a normal roof. But that is definitely a possibility if you do want a glass roof in this build. But yeah, so this is just like the little dining room / conservatory, and it's a really nice little room just to come and read a book. I feel like this whole house is just like a nice little house to read a book in. I haven't actually done any lot traits on it yet, but you could probably give it the peace and quiet lot trait because it's completely on its own. It hasn't got any neighbours, and it's just kind of like the perfect location to sit down and read a good book. But you can kind of see I'm putting these laundry day ottomans in, and I did the pink because I don't know if you noticed, but I actually did pink doors on the front and on the side. The kitchen door is white just because I didn't want to do too many pink doors, but I thought that the pink ottomans really complemented the like back door really nicely. And I just really wanted to use that pink door, and with this little cottage I just thought it was absolutely like perfect for it. But now I'm just going in and doing the kind of like lounge area, and this lounge area is very big. You kind of walk into the house into the lounge, but the lounge is more off to the right. It's quite big. That's all I can really say about it. But I did use the cats and dogs sofas. I absolutely love these sofas, and I felt like it really worked well with this build. Cats and dogs in general worked perfectly with this build. I mean, I know that it is built in Brindleton Bay, and Brindleton Bay did come with cats and dogs, but it's just, I love the cats and dogs furniture. It's one of them packs which it's probably my favourite. I'm torn between Seasons and cats and dogs. I do love realism in my game, but I just absolutely love all of the cats and dogs furniture, more than the Seasons furniture. But it's just, there's a lot of cats and dogs furniture and wallpaper and all that kind of stuff in this house. But as you can see, I kind of did this little tiled area by the fireplace. Maybe the fireplace has been there as long as the house has been there, because I imagine this house was like a really old house, and there was tiles underneath the fireplace. I know quite a lot of houses, older houses have that. I know I've already spoken about my mum and dad's house, but they also have that. It's just because my mum and dad's house is a really old house, so it's quite easy for me to build kind of older houses because I know what's in them. But yeah, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about this build. So as you can see, I'm kind of doing this shelf above the fireplace, and I put like a load of books and some plates and just some picture frames and just bits and bobs to make it a little bit more homely. And now I'm just moving on into just like the kind of entrance area, and I actually put a fish tank in this build. I don't regularly do that, but my idea was someone could go fishing on the day, and then of a night time they could come home and put the fish in the fish tank, and then when dinner time is coming, you can come and take the fish out of the fish tank, because you can actually do that in the game, which I think is really cool. And then you could cook the fish, just kind of like preserving the fish for later. I know that's not actually very nice if you think about it, but that's just kind of what I thought. That's the kind of family that I imagine to live here. They grow all their own fruit and vegetables, and they catch their own fish and all that kind of stuff, like a really like old-fashioned kind of family. I just thought it was really cool. And I added the bookcases from Seasons just because I had a medium wall height because of the front door. So the front doors that we got with StrangerVille, for some reason they only come in the medium wall height, which is very annoying, but it doesn't matter because I then got to use the Seasons bookcase. And yeah, you can just see I added the fish tank just then. And then in this back corner, I was really confused on what to do. I didn't know if I wanted to do like a little chess table and all that kind of stuff, but the chess table didn't actually fit, and I didn't want to move all of the sofas and all that kind of stuff around because I felt like it fitted in perfectly. So I just decided to put a computer. I didn't use the laptop just because I felt like it would be more of like a everyone computer, like a family computer. But there is actually a laptop upstairs as well, so if you want to use the laptop laptop. There is a laptop in this build, but now I'm just doing like a little side table as you walk in. I always do this in my builds just to add like a little bit of realism, just like throw your bills on and throw all your keys on and all that kind of stuff. I just love doing that kind of thing. And now I'm just going to go and find I think it's the Parenthood kind of like activity block table. I've used this once before in a build and I haven't used it since. I don't think I've actually played with it since, but I just thought there was a big massive space, and this house is a proper like family house. It's somewhere to bring up your Sims, and I just thought having that was a great way to like have the family like just interact with each other and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to add that in, and now I'm just moving on and doing the bathroom. I only keep in this footage from the bathroom because there is 3 bathrooms in this house, but they're all the exact same furniture and colour palette, and I just felt like it'd be a little bit repetitive if I showed each one. And so this is the downstairs bathroom, where I imagined after you took the dog for a walk that you could come straight into here and just clean them right up. I just thought it was like perfect. But now we're actually moving on to the upstairs, and this is the parents' bedroom. So this bedroom I absolutely love. I always kind of go for like older fashioned bedrooms for parents, just because I just what I always do. I don't really know why. Maybe I don't actually know why, but I just absolutely love this bedroom because I could proper go all old fashioned with it. I love that 4-poster bed. I used that in I think it was my last build or the one before that, and I said that I wanted to use it more, and so I definitely used it in this build just because it matches so perfectly, especially with the cats and dogs furniture which I used. And that is also a cats and dogs wallpaper, if you're wondering. I absolutely love that, but I feel like very limited on where I can use it. But I wanted to use it in this just because I just absolutely love that wallpaper, and the furniture goes absolutely beautifully with it. But now I am just going around and adding some bits and bobs. I was going to add the dog bed into this room, but then I actually moved it into the hallway and kind of had the cat's bed in here. I imagined the dog, well, it can be either a dog or cat bed, the smaller one, but I imagine this family has like a big like Labrador or like a big dog, so they would need the bigger one, and so I just added the cat bed into this one, and then the dog can sleep in the hallway, maybe like protecting the house a little bit or something like that. But I can't actually remember what I put in this. Oh yeah, I do. I remember I put a bookcase, yeah. So I never actually used that bookcase, and I felt like the wood matches. Even though it's not the same wood throughout the room, it kind of matched with the door, and it just kind of went perfectly, especially for like a kind of thing in between the bathroom door and the like bedroom door kind of thing. And I did actually forget to mention that the master bedroom actually has an ensuite. You can kind of see it now. It's the exact same, like I said, as the one downstairs, and there is there is a main bathroom as well in this house. But now I'm just moving on into the daughter's bedroom, and this bedroom is actually my favourite bedroom throughout the whole entire house. I absolutely love it. It's probably my favourite bedroom that I've ever done for a child. I was about to say it can be either for a teenager or a child, but I did actually add some child objects in here. But do you know what? It's literally my favourite. I absolutely love it. I know I've said that like 3 times already, but I just love it. And I especially love how the bed's just kind of into the wall, and it's like the perfect size. That is actually where the fireplace kind of comes up from, and it's just perfect. I absolutely love it. And I realised when I was building this, there is a lot of cat pictures in and around the room. So there is a cat kind of height chart, there's a cat statue, there's a picture with a cat on the shelf, and then there's a cat like teddy. So I imagined maybe that she likes cats. I didn't do that on purpose, it literally just is what happened. But yeah, there's a lot of cat references in this, well, not references, there's a lot of cat things and objects in this room, but I think it works. I absolutely love it anyway. And I actually used, I think it's called the Puppeteer's Wardrobe, I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But I never, ever use that wardrobe, and I don't know why. I think it's because I always thought that it was more of like a kid's kind of wardrobe, because there is like a puppeteer station where the children can go in and like play puppets and all that kind of stuff. And I always just kind of thought that it was one of them, and so that's why I never really used it. But I kind of realised that it wasn't, and it's just like a normal wardrobe, and so I used it in this one because it has some like little pictures of kids on, and I just thought it would match perfectly in the daughter's bedroom. But now I am moving on to the final room. So this is kind of like the study area / washing room kind of thing. This is the room that you can make into a toddler's bedroom if you would like, but I decided just to make it into kind of like a spare room / study kind of area. But I'm just going to finish this room off by just cluttering it up a little bit. And so yeah, so that is it for today's video. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this English styled or inspired kind of home. And as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next speed building video. Bye guys.